I've been asked by one of my Patreon supporters to give my thoughts on antidepressants. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory as to my experience with them and what I think about them now. So my experience with antidepressants has been up and down. When I was younger, I tried a variety of different medications and I had little success with them. I had a lot of the negative side effects, like just feeling sick, nauseated, weight gain, mental fluctuations, and none of the benefits. I kept trying until I finally found one that, despite the initial side effects, I was able to see some benefits. I actually attribute the antidepressants to saving my life. At the time, if I didn't take them, I may have, committed self-harm or attempted suicide. They literally saved my life. The problem with them for me was that although they took away the lows, they also seemed to take away the highs. So it left me living in this middle band of, well, I wasn't depressed anymore, but it also took away a lot of the feeling. I didn't really feel much joy in anything. So over time, I stopped taking the medication and upped my therapy sessions. I was able and lucky enough to be able to do that in the sense that the therapy I was getting actually was able to help me. So the question is would I go back on medication? Ideally, I wouldn't. I don't feel that I need to have them. However, if my mental state was to drop and I was to get suicidal again, I would definitely go back on them. My main issue with medications for mental health is when they're given without accompanying psychology or therapy or counseling sessions. So the first doctor I went and saw for my mental health, just a general practitioner, sent me off to a psychiatrist. Now, a psychiatrist is basically a doctor that's studied more and is able to prescribe medications. And unfortunately, a lot of them just say, here, have this medication, and they look at depression as a biological cause. The medications, for example, a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, basically helps you to feel less depressed by keeping more serotonin in the synapses, a whole bunch of, biology and chemistry basically. But the point is they view it as the medicine will help. Now, for some people, it most certainly does. And like I said, it helped me. And some people have issues genetically or, physiologically in which they can't produce enough serotonin or they've got chemical imbalances and that sort of stuff. However, my problem is that for me, it seems like unless you address the psychological causes that are causing the depression, some people are biological, but a lot are psychological. If you're one of the psychological people, if something's happening in your life or you've got some thought patterns that aren't that productive or need to be, tweaked or fixed like me, just having medication, it's not going to fix the problem. So I was a bit upset that I was put straight onto medication without the psychology therapy backing it up. So what are my ultimate thoughts? Well, overall, I suggest that if you are struggling, you should not only see a psychologist, but if that's not working, definitely consider seeing a psychiatrist or someone else that can prescribe medication. Some mental illnesses are only treatable through medication, and you most definitely should take it if you need it. And like I said, I would ideally personally not want to have to go back onto it, because for me, it made life a bit more numb and a bit more muted. That being said, that's far better than death. So would I go back on them? Yes. But ideally, I would like to take steps to prevent my need for that happening. For some reason, there's a stigma around taking medication for mental illness. It's everything to do with mental illness seems to have a stigma, but I like to look at it this way. If you had diabetes, you'll take the medication for it. If you have just broken your arm, you'll take the medication for it. If you suffer from asthma, you'll take the medication for it. So in the same way, if you suffer from a mental illness and you need to take the medication, there is no shame or harm or issue in that. It doesn't make you a lesser person. It doesn't do anything like that. All it is that you're using a modern medical science to address a biological issue that you have, just like everyone else that's taking medication. So if you're struggling, speak to your doctor, speak to your psychologist, speak to your psychiatrist, and ask them for their opinion. If you're unsure about taking the medication, that's completely fine. Ask them for more information. Read up about it, ask them what it does, ask them if there are other alternatives, and make sure that you're both getting if you do go down the medication path, make sure you're also getting counseling and therapy alongside to, attack the problem from both ends, and that way you'll best see a solution. Comment below, let me know if you've tried medication for your mental illness, if it's helped, and what stigma you've faced because of it. Thanks.